come over. Don't come over here trying to Then guess what? Go do something and come back. Go get cracking and come back. That's what I said, bro.
Nipsey Hussle's brother Black Sam pushes Rockstar 2800 out of the Marathon Burger grand opening on Melrose Ave. Listen, Black Sam is standing on business. And I know Nipsey is up there looking down like, that's my big bro.
Nip Hussle, aka Go Get It, at the speed of a marathon, taking his time, going down the line to find peace of mind. Yeah. Can you understand that at all?
They say being an artist means lights, cameras, the stage, and stray bullets. Yeah, you heard that right. Welcome to the Los Angeles rap game, a world where if you stand in the wrong place, you don't just lose fans, you might lose your life. Just last week, at the grand opening of a burger joint on Melrose, everyone expected fun, selfies, burgers, and Instagram poses. But then, Black Sam showed up, and you know what that means. When Black Sam, the older brother of the late rapper Nipsey Hussle, shows up without a smile, someone's about to be gone. And the one who had to go this time was none other than Rockstar 2800, a rapper who might not be big on stage, but is infamous in the darker backstage circles. Sam didn't need many words. Just a look, a gesture, and a single line. If you're not here to honor my brother's name, then get the hell out. So Rockstar left, not the kind of leaving where you go home after a show. No, this was the kind of exit where you're escorted out, like being blocked at the door of a nightclub run by Mafia Muscle. But that was only the tip of the iceberg, because a few days later, Snoop Dogg appeared at the right place, at the right time, with the exact vibe of, I know. What's on your mind, Sam? Some people said it was just coincidence. But you and I both know nothing in this rap game is coincidence. If Snoop and Sam cross paths in the noise of LA, either the universe is being cruel, or somebody's playing chess without announcing their moves. And behind that casual collision that reeks of gun smoke and street politics lies a whole chain of drama, street culture mixed with America's brand of underground politics. This isn't just about rappers clashing anymore. It's a war between two worlds. On one side, those who believe in legacy, brotherhood, honor, like Sam. On the other side, those who believe in industry politics, power networks. And who you stand next to is what you're worth, like Snoop or Big U. What the public calls drama might actually be a life or death verdict for an entire generation. And now, to understand why just one look from Snoop could make all of Los Angeles tense up, we need to rewind back to the 2000s, when the story between Nipsey, Big U, and the dream of escaping street violence began. If you think this all started at a burger joint or the day Nipsey Hussle was gunned down, you're dead wrong. It started with a 10-year contract signed in 2009, back when Nipsey was just another street rapper trying to break through. And Big U was an underground boss fresh out of prison, looking to re-establish his clout by backing a young talent. On paper, Big U gave Nip stages, beats, and a platform. But in reality, it was a shackling deal, like the kind of contract young singers in Vietnam sign with promoters, where every move needs permission, every breath is taxed. And the worst part, that contract lasted until 2019, the very year Nipsey Hussle was shot dead in front of his own store. Now imagine this, an artist like Nip, who went from a street kid with a mic to building the Marathon brand, becoming a community icon, and yet still had to obey a man who once ruled a prison yard. How long do you think his pride could take that? Not long. Nip started resisting. Not with press conferences, not with public declarations of war, but in the real way street rappers fight through music. He dropped the track You Don't Got a Clue, widely seen as a lyrical slap in the face to Big U and anyone trying to control his path. From that moment, the brotherhood ended. The contract was still in place, but the relationship was over. And you know how it goes in showbiz: when ties break, people quietly unfollow and block each other. But in LA street rap, when ties break, people shoot. Black Sam, the protective brother always watching Nip's back, started sensing danger in shady meetings, whispers, and those silent glances that said it all. Sam once even had to fire warning shots to break up a brawl between Nip and Big U. That happened right in front of the cops. Sam got arrested and then, strangely enough, released. Later, people found out it was Big U himself who told police Sam wasn't involved, which got him off the hook. But to Sam, that wasn't a favor, that was a trap. The kind of mafia-style debt that whispers, I saved you once, now shut your mouth.
Black Sam, Nipsey's brother, he told me he's a rat. First time they first fall out, when he first got Nipsey signed, Nipsey come back, it was a fallout. They went down, there was a fight, rumble happened. I believe Big Q knocked Nipsey out. Black Sam comes out, fires 3-4 shots in the air. He's fresh out the penitentiary. Police sitting right across the street, they see him. They come in, they arrest everybody. Black Sam's on parole. We bail Big U out. Big Q tells us, the police tell him, they let Black Sam go before he got a bail. Which is, gun, firing, fresh out, ain't supposed to happen like that. He tell him that's when ours leave him alone. So all these years, I've been looking at him like he's a rat anyway.
And if you're a man who once pulled a gun to protect your little brother, you're not swallowing that kind of favor. Sam stayed quiet, but he remembered every face, every man, every look in Nip's final days stayed etched in his mind. And the cruelest part, it wasn't just losing his brother. It was having to take photos with the very people he believed were tied to his death. Because Snoop Dogg, no matter what he says, was always seen next to Big U at major events, smiling, clapping shoulders, filming those artists united for the community videos. But when Sam looked at that, what did he see? Not brotherhood, not solidarity. He saw an accomplice in a suit. And this isn't just about loyalty, it's about power. About who gets to sit at the table and who's left outside eating cold burgers.
What's up, baby?
Man.
The big homie.
Yes, sir.
TV superstar. Neighborhood star.
out,
Come on, man. I'm not
Hey, we
playing.
check it in, baby.
Man, the check-in is real. When your feet hit the street, you better check in.
Hey, look, hold on. That's so.
Yeah.
That's so.
Events that happened decades ago can feel forgotten, but one look, one appearance, and the whole city feels like they're rewatching an old tape. So when Snoop Dogg stepped into the picture right as Black Sam was calling out Big U, right as every relationship was strung tight like a guitar string, people didn't just see a rapper. They saw history staring them in the face, because everyone remembers the 90s. The era when hip-hop was split down the middle, East Coast versus West Coast, Tupac versus Biggie, Death Row versus Bad Boy, a war not over music but over who stood next to who in a photo. And where was Snoop then? Not in the middle, not on the sidelines. He stood with Tupac at least on stage. But then, during a radio interview in New York, right at the peak of the rap war, Snoop casually dropped this line, "I got no beef with Biggie and Puff Daddy. I'd love to make music with them. Sure, polite, respectful, the perfect keep the peace. Industry talk." But to Tupac, a man who had just been shot up at a studio and was putting eggs into his verses, those words weren't peace. They were betrayal, a handshake with the enemy, broadcast live on the air. Old story. But now, it feels way too familiar. Put yourself in Black Sam's shoes. He lost his brother. He suspects someone in the game played a direct or indirect role. He stayed silent for years. Then in 2025, as the contracts, the connections with Big U, and even suspicions about Eric Holder started coming to light, Snoop showed up, standing right next to the very people Sam saw as enemies. Sound familiar? Tupac once felt the same way, and now it's Sam's turn. The irony is that Snoop has always seen himself as the middleman, the cultural guardian, the peace symbol of the rap world. Everywhere he goes, he checks in, saying things like respect the turf, respect the local culture. But while he shows respect with words, Sam shows respect with bullets, with absolute loyalty to only one person, Nip, and that's where the two worlds will never meet. Snoop may see himself as a peacemaker, but to Sam, Snoop is the guy playing neutral in a war where there's no gray area. Either you stand with Nip's legacy, or you stand with those directly or indirectly tied to the greatest tragedy of their lives. This isn't about who's right or wrong anymore. This is about a completely different belief systems. Snoop, once a rebel, has become a man of the system, friendly with politicians, shaking hands with corporations, being honored, hosting talk shows. Sam, on the other hand, isn't an artist, doesn't represent a brand, doesn't have a TV program. He only represents a fire that hasn't been put to rest. And the man who represents an unresolved pain doesn't talk much. He just looks. Like the day Snoop and Sam faced each other, no shouting, no insults, but everyone in the room felt it. You chose the wrong side and you know it. By February 2025, while everyone was still arguing about whether Snoop betrayed Nipsey's legacy, the U.S. federal government quietly unsealed files, not just one, but a series of indictments, all aimed directly at Big U, the name you've already heard countless times. A shadowy figure standing behind so many turning points. The charges included extortion, asset seizure, taxing, artists with gang fees, and according to several sources, directly deciding who gets to rise and who gets blocked in the LA rap scene. Don't think that's just in movies. This is a real system built over decades, where if you want to release music, book shows, or get on TV, you have to check in with the right people. No check-in, no protection. Then get out of the industry, or worse, disappear completely. And it didn't stop with Big U after the indictments dropped. The name Brick Baby, a once notorious West Coast rapper and Big U's close friend, was also picked up. Charges, weapon possession, conspiracy, and even scarier, suspicions of being involved in cleaning up crime scenes for what were publicly labeled artist accidents. At that moment, the entire LA hip-hop community felt like they'd been doused with ice water. But Black Sam, he wasn't shocked, because everything the FBI just exposed he already knew. But something else started to stir public debate. Where would Snoop Dogg stand in all this? Snoop's name wasn't in the files, nobody subpoenaed him, nobody charged him. But still, he was everywhere. In old videos, backstage photos, live streams, charity events, wherever Big U was, Snoop was there too. And now, wherever Big U is where the federal investigation is happening. The media began dissecting every picture, asking questions like, if you're innocent, why are you always standing with those who aren't? Some argued, Snoop's just showing up at community events. But the real question is, who organized those events? Others said, he's not involved in anything. He's just a superstar. But then why, every time there's conflict in the industry, does he either stay silent or stand next to the most controversial figures? That's when a new theory began to take shape. It didn't accuse Snoop of being the mastermind. Nobody said he killed Nipsey, but people started wondering, is Snoop protecting his own power by staying silent in the face of injustice? And in this industry, silence can be more dangerous than open beef, because silence leaves everyone unsure who's your friend and who's quietly sharpening a knife to stab you while you sleep on your money and fame. From then on, every time Snoop showed up at a charity event, every time he posted a photo with his arm around someone, every time he spoke about community love, the internet dissected it, asking, is this real or just a performance to hold onto his seat at the table? Because in a world where the FBI is now in play, no one is safe just because I'm an artist. We've seen what lies beneath the glamorous performances. We've traced the steps from Black Sam, to Big U, to Rockstar, to Snoop Dogg. But at the end of the day, the real question isn't who's right, who's wrong. The real question is, who still dares to speak up, and who chooses a quiet life just to hold their position. Out of everyone, Black Sam is the one with nothing left to lose. Nipsey is gone, the family shattered. The store that was once a community symbol is now a silent battlefield of ideologies. For Sam, calling out the names of those he believes harmed his brother isn't an act of bravery, it's a duty. And Snoop, he's got too much left to lose. Money, fame, brands, Hollywood ties, TV networks, even his connections with the government. He chooses silence, and the problem is his silence is too smooth. So smooth it makes people wonder, is he staying silent? Because if he spoke, everything would collapse. In America, there's a phrase, survivor of the system, the kind of person who makes it through not by being a villain or a hero, but by knowing when to talk and when to shut up. Snoop Dogg might be the perfect example, but here's the catch, the new generation isn't sleeping. Brick Baby was arrested, Rockstar was publicly humiliated, shadow powers are being exposed one by one, and the FBI doesn't know the meaning of forgiveness until the case is closed. If the investigation goes all the way, it's very possible that within the next few months, household names like Snoop will get pulled into court not for committing the crimes themselves, but for being complicit, for enabling, for staying silent when the industry needed them to speak up. And when that happens, fans will be forced to ask a bitter question. Who have we been applauding for 30 years? A hero or a man who learned how to wear a suit well enough to hide the blood on his hands? Black Sam might be isolated, threatened, smeared, but he won't disappear. Because men like him don't live for contracts, they live for justice. For their own. Meanwhile, those who once sat at the table with both sides, the neutral artists, the fans who say I love them both, will be forced to pick a side. And that will reshape the power map of the LA rap scene for the next decade. The board is set. The pieces are in place. The only question left is, who will still be standing after the next move and who will become nothing more than a blur. In a memorial tweet, if you've stayed with us this far, you're not just watching another rap drama. You've just witnessed a lesson in power, legacy, and the cost of silence. Whose side are you on? Justice or power? Leave your comment below. And if you want us to keep uncovering the hidden truths of the entertainment world, don't forget to hit subscribe, share this video, and send it to a friend who needs to know the truth. They don't teach you this in the news, but here we tell it as it really is.